Hey everyone, the last video I posted on YouTube was regarding a recital that I was going to have. I'm going to share a little excerpt from that. I'm not allowed to post the whole thing, but an excerpt. And I would also like to talk briefly about some of the preparation and backstory before this concert found place. Because maybe for people who has never done something like this, it can sound just amazing all the time when you see like, oh, someone is traveling to the other side of the world and they get to play a piece of music, how much fun. And of course, yeah, it is a lot of fun, but there is a lot of things that goes into that maybe, yeah, you have never even thought about, especially if you are doing this for the first time. For me personally, I think it was the second time that I played on the other side of the world like this. And yeah, this is a little backstory from my own experience here. So reed-wise for something like this, concert with big orchestra and a big hall, having reeds for something like that, of course, requires that, yeah, you're able to project volume-wise well, that it sounds good for where the audience sits. When I'm here practicing at home, I'm in a, let's call it a normal-sized room, medium maybe. So of course, I will not have that feeling here. So I will just simply need to know what I need in a different location. And for example, now when I do YouTube recordings here, and sometimes I play for the camera, this camera is maybe something between 1.5 to 2 meters away from me. The sound need then to sound good for that microphone. If I would use such a reed when I stand in front of an orchestra in a huge hall, it would be ridiculous because projection-wise, it would make no sense. It's a bit a similar situation as if I would be the student and I'm playing for my teacher, and then I want it to sound the best where I'm standing and where the teacher is standing, so in that circle of place. But when you are a soloist in front of the orchestra, that's not the occasion for such reeds. So then of course, yeah, more projection. Maybe from where I was standing, maybe not the ideal sound in my opinion, but when you listen to, for example, the recordings after, or when you have people in the audience giving you feedback and stuff like that, such reeds work out better than the reed I would choose for playing for a teacher or having for a YouTube video or something like this. Such reeds means maybe a little bit more boomy, maybe a little bit more, maybe even scraped a bit more actually. Not to make them bussier or something like this, but they are a little bit lighter than those huge thick reeds that I would normally play on in, for example, a lesson or something like this. And the challenge is then to scrape a reed in such a way when you are in a completely different climate, because as we know, all double reeds players, the reeds, they change a lot depending on where you are, the temperature and the humidity and blah blah blah. So when I was here at home, it was around 30 degrees in the summer-ish, which is around, I think, 86 degrees Fahrenheit. And I needed to prepare reeds for around, on the warmest day in Phoenix, it was 45 degrees Celsius, meaning 113 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a completely different world. And it's in the middle of the desert, and it's, yeah, completely different. Not very scarf friendly, but it worked. So the reed needs to work there. So then for quite some time, when I was preparing here at home, I was playing on those reeds, which actually didn't sound very nice here. So, morally or like mentally, you're thinking, how is this gonna work out? Like, I sound not so good here. I really hope this works out. So stuff like that is a little extra stress factor to something like this. And actually, even before I went to America to do this, I also had a project where I was coaching like a youth orchestra far north in Norway. We even went all the way up to Bodø, which is northern of the Arctic Circle in Norway. And of course, my reeds there, it was just ridiculous. It was a joke, it was a piece of paper, no vibration almost whatsoever. It was just dead. And of course, when you are there then, and you know that, okay, you have this concert on the other side of the world in, what was it, like 10 days or something, and the reeds, they barely work, that it does something to you, like wondering, will this even work out? Luckily, when I got there, I realized that my assumptions, they were right. I mean, of course, it's much warmer over there than it was here. So yeah, the reeds, they started to expand quite a lot. They got thicker, they got heavier. while at the same time, if I scrape them over there, then they will not affect as much as if I would have tried to make them nice when I was, you know, far north in Norway above the Arctic Circle. So that did work out. But something else that is good to know when you're doing stuff like this is not only the humidity and the temperature, but there's also a time zone difference, of course. So I came there quite some time in advance, almost a week in advance, to get rid of my jet lag. Because my concert started at 7 o'clock in the evening, which is kind of a standard time, I think, for a concert. But 7 o'clock over there means 4 o'clock in the night for me here. So that's when I need to be on the top of my game. It's on the 4 o'clock in the night. Normally, I'm really not on the top of my game at 4 o'clock in the night. So that is something that takes time to adjust to as well. And on top of that, what was also quite interesting is that in this concert location, which was a town called Flagstaff, it's like an hour or two drive-ish from Phoenix. It's like 2,000 meters above sea level. So the altitude kicks in as well. And you know, I was there performing a violin piece, meaning a piece where there is nowhere to breathe really. So that was actually something that I didn't even think about. And when I was there a week before, just to basically, you know, reset my jet lag and to practice and stuff like this, and also being a bit tourist, then I didn't think anything about it, that the air was different. But when you stand in front of the orchestra and you need this huge kind of, you know, solo breath for like, boom, this kind of sound, then you really feel that, whoa, I'm taking a lot of breath, but this doesn't really work out that long. So that was a big challenge. So actually I needed to do a lot of breathing exercises to really expand, feeling this expansion feeling of my lungs and the lung capacity to really wake up. And that was a big challenge. So then suddenly, you know, the easy technical piece that I had chosen became really challenging. But it was a good challenge and it went well and I'm happy with it, which is also why I will share a fragment here now from this concert. But there are so many factors like this that can affect the entire performance and everything like this. So I just wanted to mention that because maybe for more young people who has never done something like this before, traveling across the world to do things, these are things that very often we don't even think about. But so yeah, in the end now I just wanted to say enjoy the show. This is from the IDRS in Arizona this summer 2024 together with Flagstaff Symphony Orchestra. The piece is Johan Svensson, Romance. This is the ending of that, and it's my own arrangement, meaning there are a few adjustments here and there. Music is published by Trevco. Even though the performance I did, I just transposed a few passages up the octave, which was also quite a challenge considering the altitude in the air and all the stuff I just talked about. But here we go.